What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fence. I am your host, Aaron, and if it's your first time here, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where I do music reviews in a safe place where we could talk about all the things we love or hate. And if you guys have any albums or singles or anything, new or old, you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what they are, and I'll make it happen for you. But if you do that, don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon. That way you get notified when I do upload videos, because lately I've been getting a lot of requests. I make the video, I do the review, I upload it, and the person who requested it never sees the video, and it makes me sad. And on today's album review, we're going to be checking out the new self-titled album by the band Lamb of God. Lamb of God started in about 1994. They are from Richmond, Virginia. They have 10 studio albums, but 2 of those are under a different name known as Burn the Priest, and they are a heavy metal, groove metal / metalcore band. I've never actually really considered them to be a metalcore band, probably just because I don't really think they sound like Killswitch Engage or As I Lay Dying or August Burns Red or anything, but whatever. And I've got to say that Lamb of God doesn't always write the best music, and they don't all have just amazing, fantastic albums throughout their entire career, but I can say that they consistently sound like Lamb of God. If you put on any Lamb of God album, you're gonna hear something where you're like, yeah, this is Lamb of God. And majority of the time, it's pretty decent. And it's been 5 years since Lamb of God has come out with a new album. It's the longest hiatus they've ever had. Normally, they're like 1 to 3 years at the most in between albums. And this album starts out with the song Memento Mori, which is Latin for Remember You Must Die. And the song starts out with the vocalist Randy Bly kind of talking, not really like spoken word, but basically just talking about being in like this dream or more like a nightmare kind of state where he's dying and he just can't get out. And then we go into the verse where it just comes in with this freaking fat, juicy riff and Randy just screaming, and he's just right there in front of your face. It literally goes from like a gentle kind of conversation to all of a sudden the vocals are just right in your face, just screaming at you. And this is Lamb of God. This is what I wanted from them. Lamb of God is a very political band. Most of their music is political, and it continues into this album, especially with the starting song Memento Mori. The song is basically, at least from what I get out of it, it's about people constantly being tuned in to social media, to news broadcasts, to basically just everything being reported around the world, and it's all very negative, and we all kind of lose the sense of reality when we do that. It even has a call to action of wake up, which is screamed at you multiple times throughout the song, and it's very hard hitting. It's got phenomenal rhythm, just like almost every Lamb of God song you expect to have, and it's just, honestly, it's an average Lamb of God song, which is pretty good. Even though this album is very political, it's still kind of all over the place. They take a bunch of different shots at a bunch of different things, and they actually do it pretty well. Like on the song Reality Bath, which touches on the subject of school shootings and how we become so desensitized to it, to where now it's referred to in the song as the new abnormal. And at first I had a hard time getting into the song, but then once I actually started to pay attention to it instead of having it on as just background noise, I started to realize that the vocals have this hardcore feel to them, and I really enjoyed that quite a bit. And it's got good riffs, and the chorus has a pretty good hook to it, and again, it's a pretty average Lamb of God song, which is pretty good. The very next song is called The New Colossal Hate, which is kind of a play on words from the poem that's on the Statue of Liberty by Emma Lazarus, which is called The New Colossus. And the song is about, at least how I took it, how Americans are now turning on each other. Now we're hating each other, and immigrants are no longer welcome, and this country is all about the land of the free and the land of opportunity and the land of equality and just all that. And now it's kind of the opposite. The verse has some freaking intense vocals on it, and it might have my favorite chorus on this entire album. It's kind of hard to pick because they're all pretty good, but it's got some amazing drum work and some freaking groovy guitar riffs. The song Poison Dream has some very typical classic Lamb of God riffage, but the drum work in it from the new drummer Art Cruz is just insane. Honestly, throughout this whole album, I wasn't really sure what to expect from him, but he completely blew me away. At first, the song is just kind of whatever. You know, I mean, it just, like I said, typical Lamb of God sound. But then once you get to the bridge, it's probably one of the best things I've ever heard. It features Jamie Josta, I believe that's how you say his name, from the band Hatebreed. And there's this kind of like duetty thing going on between him and Randy Blythe. And it's just so awesome. By the time it's over, I felt completely just blindsided and flabbergasted. If I had to pick a favorite song, it would probably be Resurrection Man. It has a very just dark sounding intro and it's got a really juicy riff. But the main thing is it reminds me of something you would hear off of some of their older stuff, like Ashes of the Wake. It's almost like a throwback kind of feel to it. It's not a very eventful song, to be honest, but it's got just a great sounding chorus. The bridge just takes no prisoners. Like I said, it's got a good breakdown in it. It's just very old school Lamb of God feel. And I could always go back to their old music and listen to it. And I still love it just as much as the first time I heard it. And I feel like this song, I don't know if they intentionally did it, but it just had a lot of those qualities to it. My second favorite song, and sometimes my favorite song, depending on what kind of mood I'm in, is the song Gears, which, like, the music is pretty good. It's got a decent, catchy chorus and a good hook in the chorus, and it's got a lot of different hardcore elements to it. But I think the meaning of the song hit me the most. The song, to me, is about working at a pointless, mundane job that's void of all creativity and void of basically just any feeling or passion whatsoever. And the only thing you get out of it is a good paycheck and your bank account's growing and you're getting rich and you have nice home and nice things and stuff. And you have all these things thinking it's going to just make you happy and give you a feeling of being fulfilled when it doesn't. I think Gears hit me the hardest because the whole subject matter is why I do this, why I make these videos. This is my creative outlet. I love music. I love listening to music. I love listening to new music, and I love talking about music, and I love starting conversations about music. Even if I make an album or make a review where you guys hate it and you guys are cussing me out in the comment section, I love it. I love having that debate because it's all, even though some people don't think it is, it's all based off of opinion. Everything I'm saying right now in my review, it's all 100% opinion. And I would rather do this than some mundane, pointless job. And that's why Gears is badass. Getting back to the review at hand, the only songs I didn't really find myself really getting all that into was the songs Bloodshot Eyes and the song Roots or Routes, depending on what part of the country you're from. I believe Roots to be about the Dakota Access Pipeline, and it's very fast, it's in your face, it's got a really fun, cool riff. But in the choruses, it features Chuck Billy from Testament, and I found like he kind of just, he does like an echoey chant part in the choruses, and I found his part to be kind of pointless. And Bloodshot Eyes is probably the most unique song on the album because it features clean singing from Randy, and it's very, honestly, kind of creepy. And the chorus is a good hook, and it's a good song, but it was just kind of the least for me. The last song on the hook is what I believe to be about the United States or America going to war with other countries like Afghanistan over their opium addictions and their opium networks. And while we're doing that, we're pretty much just ignoring the exact same problem that we have here in America. And the song is full of fast, crazy riffs and blasting drum work. And it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of different like stops and breaks in it, which kind of breaks up the pacing and gives you a chance to breathe, but only just for a second. But it's a really good finishing song, and it makes the whole album complete. And if you guys are wondering why I skipped the second song on the album, the single that was released, Checkmate, I ended up making a video about it maybe like about 2 months ago. I don't know, whenever it came out. I believe it was about 2 months ago. I made a review on that single, and I was pretty disappointed. I believe I gave it like a 2.5 out of 5. And now that I've listened to it more since then, and I listened to it again while reviewing this album, I found myself liking it even less. For some reason, Checkmate is just, it's very uneventful to me, and it's just very bland and boring. I don't know why. I just can't get into that song. So with all that said, I gotta give the self-titled album by Lamb of God a 7.6 out of 10. I enjoyed this album quite a bit. It's not on par with some of their older stuff. It's better than some of the stuff they've come out with, especially some of their newer stuff. It's got some forgettable parts, but it also has some moments where you want to go back and you want to listen to it again because it's just that good. One issue this album has, at least for me, is that all the songs kind of mash together. There's not a whole lot of dynamics going on, so they all kind of start to sound the same after a while, especially when I was listening to this album while driving home or playing video games, or when I was just screwing around on the computer. I believe yesterday I was playing video games, I was listening to this album, and every once in a while my ears would perk up when I would hear like a cool riff or like a cool bridge or something like that. My ears would perk up. But other than that, it was all just kind of forgettable. There isn't like a whole lot of amazing moments in this album. There are some moments that you want to go back to over and over again, but at the same time, it isn't really all that standoutish. But I want to know what you guys think. If you've listened to Lamb of God's new album, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what you thought, especially if you're a fan. Lamb of God is probably in like my top 10 favorite bands at least. And if you haven't listened to this new album, go ahead and give it a listen. At least some of the favorite songs I talked about, or even some of the songs I didn't really enjoy all that much, and let me know what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. If you didn't enjoy it, go ahead and give it a dislike, but let me know why. Leave a comment letting me know why you disagree, why you didn't enjoy it. Do you think that maybe this album is the greatest thing ever? It deserves a higher rating? Does it suck? It deserves a lower rating? Maybe I talk crap about your favorite song and you want to let me know why. Like I said, this is a safe place where we could talk about all the things we love or hate. So go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night or whenever you happen to be watching this. Stay safe. Be careful out there. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was just an ignorant kid relying on my parents' said to save me.